breakfast television. It's one of Australia's most holiest of hours in the TV week schedule. And not just because it hasn't been taken over yet by DIY reality TV shows, and believe me, their time is probably coming, but because it's home to some of Australia's greatest TV personalities. The man we're talking about today, every Australian knows about. But even if you're not, you probably know his face.
And so I grabbed this long stabby thing that I have next to the bed. Georgie, do you have something?
Well, Tim's my long stabby thing, but I...
The long stabby thing man, a.k.a. Karl Stefanovic.
I grabbed this long stabby thing.
Let me just tell you what I think about it. I think it was a disgraceful performance from a captain who got his sums wrong today.
I want to do you slowly.
We're putting them rubbish in your bin, mate.
One from mate.
Any boss who sacks anyone for not turning up today is a bum.
Karl Stefanovic was born on August 12th, 1974 in the eastern suburbs of Sydney. And despite this, he still goes for the Queensland Maroons. I don't know why.
I spent longer in Queensland than Greg Inglis.
It's not the point. State of
Greg
origin.
Inglis.
And his father suggested that he join the National Institute of Dramatic Arts, which claims the alumni of the likes of Cate Blanchett and Mel Gibson. Could you imagine if Karl was a movie star instead? Instead of having Russell Crowe as Master and Commander, we've got Karl Stefanovic, Master of the long stabby thing. But he failed to get into the art school, much like Hitler, but instead of going and wiping out 6 million people, he decided to go to rural North Queensland to become a journalist, where he got his first gig in 1994. But 11 years later, in 2005, was when he would get the gig that would turn him into a household name on Channel 9's The Today Show program, which I think is a rip-off of America's Today Show. I'm not sure. I probably should have researched it. But anyhow, it's a breakfast show where basically they just talk about puff pieces and the news from 5 a.m. till 9 a.m. Look at that cat. 4 years later, in 2009, Karl landed in one of his first of a few controversies hosting the Today Show. All right, I got to explain for the Americans here, right? We have this show called the Logie Awards. It's basically the Emmys, but for Australian television. We call them the Logies. So nobody really knows about it. And they try to winch in American celebrities every year, and even they don't know why the hell they're there.
I don't know why the I'm here.
Now, the awards are hosted on a Sunday night, and the Logies are infamous for their after parties, which all the Australian television personalities go to, actors and whatnot. But the morning after, on the Monday morning, the Today Show is on, live, which was Karl Stefanovic's gig. Now, did Karl pass up the party the night before? I'll let you decide. I'll let you be the judge.
Back to you, Karl and Lisa. Lisa, you looked absolutely sensational last night.
I know. Didn't she look really good?
Thank you, Amber.
I can't believe how good you looked this morning.
Oh, shush.
How good does Lisa Wilkinson look with
shush.
zero sleep? I applaud you and I salute you. Look at you on the little monitor there.
Stop it, it's fine.
After the incident, Karl wasn't seen on the Today Show program all week, and speculation ran as to whether or not he still had a job. Now, rival network Channel 7 ran a hit piece on Karl on their now dead Praise the Lord Today Tonight, which was basically a tabloid in video form.
Today tonight.
Thank God that's dead, by the way. Jesus Christ. Channel 7 sent a reporter onto the street to get the everyman version, sorry, that's sexist of me, the every person's perspective of the incident, and they tried to bait them with clips of it and tried to get rage and negative comments from people to paint Karl in a bad light because he's from a rival network. They want to beat them in the ratings, but they failed tremendously.
He hasn't been to bed and he's pissed.
What Channel 7 underestimated was that pulling off a stunt like going out at an all-night bender at a work function and then turning up the next day absolutely hammered and pushing through with the job and getting it done resonated with pretty much every Australian. That is our culture.
Aye, mate. What's a good word?
It was as though the reporter forgot that he was interviewing people that drink too much about a man that drinks too much. You're not going to get very many negative comments about that. You're going to get a lot of support. And this shot Karl to legendary status. Now, what also makes Karl a legend on this land is some of the lengths that he goes to prove a point. As you may know, on television, if you watch the Emmys, for example, there's so much put on the women for what they wear and not so much the guys, because all the guys are wearing the same thing. Now, if the women were wearing the same thing, that'd be, whoa, what the fuck? How dare they? What Karl did to prove this point is secretly, for an entire year, he wore the exact same suit. And he missed out on only a couple times due to extreme circumstances. And this gained international attention from news outlets all around the world. The fact that he could wear a suit, the same suit, every single day on television for a year, and nobody noticed. Now, around 2016, 2017, Karl went through some more controversies, starting with the departure of Lisa Wilkinson, his co-host for the majority of his time with the network. And she left over a pay dispute with Channel 9.
It's safe to say we're all a little bit shocked, and it will take a little while to sink in. Wherever you go, you do so having made your mark on this show and on this man. And mostly you go with my love. Lots of love. All my love. We'll see you soon.
After this, they brought on Georgia Gardner, who'd been with the program some years earlier. And it all started to go downhill when Karl decided to take an Uber ride in Sydney late one night, probably while drinking, and decided to call his brother, another Channel 9 journalist, while in the back of the Uber, and put him on speakerphone, where they pretty much shit on everyone at Channel 9. And after this happened, the Uber driver, who had a recording of this whole conversation, started shopping around to different networks to release the audio. Look, I'm an Uber driver too, and I've heard some horrendous shit in my Uber. I wouldn't imagine getting to the point where I'm selling it, but it's a dog move, but I understand it because it pays really shit. Please leave a tip for your Uber driver, or they will absolutely sell the audio of you in the car. Oh man, I've seen some shit, man. I have seen some shit in my car. They were shitting on his new co-host, Georgie. They thought that she didn't have enough opinions, which is kind of weird. They thought that the Human Wax Museum brought to life Richard Wilkins was too protective of his entertainment contacts, but the one that probably hurt Channel 9 the most was they shit on the entire Channel 9 board and said they were out of touch and didn't know what they were doing. So this pretty much set up the scene for Karl's eventual sacking of the show. They just needed more of a reason than, oh, he's mean to us, blah, 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 blah. It wasn't until the next year, after Karl divorced his wife, then quickly remarrying someone much, much younger within a year of the divorce, and doing it in a big, extravagant, my big fat Greek wedding way, that the Channel 9 board went, yep, that's it. He's out.
Good luck without me.
And then they replaced Karl with an all-female lineup. I don't want to get too political in this channel. I'm just going to state the facts. But the facts are the ratings absolutely tanked. They went down the fucking shitter. It wasn't too long until about a year later they went, all right, we better bring him back. He's got to come back. All right, I think, is everyone over the wedding? All right, everyone's over the wedding and everyone's over. They didn't actually sack him from the network entirely. They just pulled him from the Today Show, which was his most prominent role with the network anyway, but they put him in kind of more minor roles, like 60 Minutes, which he also said in the Uber that it's becoming irrelevant. Irrelevant! But there you go, the meme man himself, Karl Stefanovic, a certified sick aunt. I'm doing that to get around YouTube's censorship thing, even though I'm not monetized. This hat's becoming available soon, by the way. I'm going to leave a link below when you can buy this Make Egoraptor Animate Again hat, even though I've had this design for like 2 or 3 years. And the Make America Greater thing meme, it's dead. It's dead as it will ever be. So what better time than to bring out, merch that parodies something that's been dead for half a decade nearly. Anyway, if you like this video, click the subscribe button, click the like button, and all the rest of it. And I'll see you in the next episode of Sick Aunts.